Hey everybody, long time no see. We're gonna take a trip over to Ukraine. Hey everybody, it is nice to be back, I have to admit it. I needed to bust this one out because this one was getting a little long in the tooth and I did not want this one to spoil. Still have a ton of stuff I still need to accomplish, business-wise, professionally-wise. But I was not going to let this thing spoil. So let's bust in this thing and see what we got. And just like usual, it's got all the contents on the outside for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, you know, the quantities, but what fun is that to do that? Let's just bust this thing in and take a look. I use just my Gerber dime. The one thing I love about these rations is they are nice and packaged in individual meals. And if nothing else, you can already smell that crackery smell out of these rations. That's everything out of the bag. Oh, we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, let's see what we got inside of this. And it just says simply breakfast. And I've been curious to try this because I dig these retort pouches. That's everything out of the bag. And we have our crackers. These look to be more like you would get the tank treads or panzer waffles rather than the straight up ones you would get like in a Russian ration. And here we got some kasha. It's pearl porridge with pork. Wow, the 3 P's. Yum. And here we got some sugar. Spoon and napkin. Some coffee, a little bit of salt, and it looks like we got like a moist towelette. Well, let's get this stuff heated up and that coffee made, and let's have breakfast. Okay, while we're waiting for the main to heat up, let's take a look at all this stuff and get this all ready. Have a little napkin, and wow, you can see, already have some breakage. These things are cheap, but as long as they work, that's all that matters. Napkin, spoon, moist towelette. We'll take a look at this in a little bit. Put some coffee and some sugar, a little bit of salt. Well, let's make our coffee. Wow, and that is fine powder. Again, support your favorite YouTubers and podcasts. A little bit of sugar. And this stuff is like legit sugar, man. Like right out of the mine, barely processed. Man, that smells good. I don't know what it is about like this Russian, Ukrainian type coffee. I really seem to enjoy it. And now these monstrosities, I don't really seem to enjoy these all that much, but hopefully these are a little better than your average tank tread type kind of business. I actually do. They're still tough as nails. Hopefully they'll be a little softer. Oh, there's the cat jumping down, saying hello. And our main is some kasha. It is like pearl barley with pork. Rather large serving too. Take a look at that. Oh, the smells. Looks like I got a little carrot in here too. I know it definitely has some onions in here. And we'll list all those ingredients right down there for you. And like I mentioned before, this is like 350 grams. Look at all that stuff. This nice pearl barley. Bits of pork. Definitely can see the carrot in there. Look at that stuff, man. Well, let's give that a go. It's not very salty. However, it does have that nice little kind of savory edge to it. It's very soft. See these little itty bits of pearl barley in there. I really enjoy this kind of stuff, man. If you don't like it, you can always send it to me. It's awesome. Well, like I said, it's very soft, so you need to have a texture component to go along with it. And from some guys I've talked to, they actually pulverize this stuff like in the dust and add it to it, or really small, fine little cracker bits, just to add that nice texture difference. And these are quite surprising. Why it takes a lot of tensile strength to break these. They crumble apart really easily underneath your molars. And it does add that really nice little texture. It's not overly super crunchy. It just kind of crumbles as soon as you eat it. But however, it's not just this soft. You get a little bit of bite, a little bit of yummy goodness added in there. It's kind of hard to explain. And I'm in here really looking for little bits of pork. I think they're extremely tiny. And if you wanted to, you could add salt. This would be a perfect time if you had your own Field Gourmet spice kit. Add some nice garlic powder to this, some more onion powder, red pepper flake would really spruce this up. Again, I'm looking for a little bit of pork. I think I find a piece right there. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of pork. Man, very fine little bits. But at least it's not like minced to pulverize like an MRE. Give our coffee a taste. Oh man, that's some scalding hot ass water. Woo, man, that is hot agua. And while that pork might be small in here, it does punch a good bit of flavor. And probably one thing that they use in this is they don't use a lot of preservatives like they do in Western. Man, it's straight up, this is sunflower oil. And I'm sure there's probably a good content of legit fat in here, or tallow. Absolutely delicious stuff. Well, this was breakfast. Alright, now let's check out lunch. Literally it says open, and you can tell when you use Google Translate, it comes up with some really creative translations for stuff. This seems to be a lot larger than our breakfast, and it seems to be larger than what we're going to have for our dinner or supper. Oh, that's everything out of the bag. And let's see what we got. We've got another spoon and napkin thing. Got some rusks or crisp breads. That's pretty interesting. First time I've seen that. Some more of these. Oh, some more of these crackers. If you heard that thud, we just got a new cat, and that's Socks making his presence known. And again, looks like we got some more sugar. And you can feel this nice and smushy, but I was thinking it was going to be like apple butter, but it's actually currant. Really interesting. And this is a rice soup with chicken. You see, there's a ton of that. This is huge, actually. Wow. And looking in here, it says 500 grams. That's really cool. And this is buckwheat porridge with eggplant. Well, we'll have to see about that. And we get some more tea, moist towelette, and some salt and pepper. Oh, and I forgot to say it. This is 350 grams. That is a huge lunch. All right, everybody, now we've got lunch. Obiad, we are ready to go. The only thing that I have not been able to determine or to figure out is I've got this little currant kind of like jam spread. What do you do with it? So I don't know. I'm assuming I'm going to put a little on this and one on this, and take some punishment in the comments, because man, I really don't have a clue. And seeing how this is lunch, it is perfectly fitting that we're going to enjoy some English breakfast tea. Interesting choice. Got our buddies at the Afterburn podcast. One, 2. And we'll let it, wow, that really turned dark really quick. Well, we'll let that do its thing. And we'll just hold off on the sugar for just a little bit. Open up these rusks. These would almost make perfect croutons if you had a little combat salad. And another pack of these yummy, yummy crackers. Galettes, whatever you like to call them. And then this, we'll give this a quick knead, make sure that it is all... feel like you got little bits in there, like little bits of seeds. And there is a nice little terra notch right here, what we will try to negotiate. And we'll flip this one aside, and we will try to get some of this. And of course, didn't tear it enough. Good God. And then we've got currant right there. It's going to be quite a different taste or expectation from the apple butter. And this does have all those little bitty seeds in there. You might be able to see a couple of them. So that is definitely going to add another texture dimension as well as flavor. And since we kind of have two mains, I'm going to open this up. Again, just napkin and spoon. I'm going to put the napkin over here because I'm going to put this tea right there. So we got room for all that stuff. Alright, this one is going to be a problem. This is like 500 grams of like rice and chicken soup with vegetables. So I'm going to need a bowl. Okay, so we got that. Let's grab that soup. You can just see just how ginormous this bag is, even compared to that bowl. Oh, ah, smells good too. Smells definitely like there's definitely bay leaf in here. Big chunks of chicken, little itty bitty bits of rice, but man, that is how you fill up a bowl. I'm sure this will also be beneficial with fluids and helping you stay regular. Definitely got some corn, some other stuff. Look at these big old chunks of chicken in there. Num, num, num. Can definitely see the rice. And it looks like little bits of potato. We'll put all the ingredients right there. And then we'll take a look at this. This pretty much is like canned eggplant with, I believe it's pork and buckwheat. So, eggplant, I have a hit or miss kind of relationship with. Hopefully this won't be too reminiscent, but it looks exactly just like the regular kasha that I usually have. And again, this is a gigantic helping. Actually, it's not pork. This is beef. What am I talking about? This is shanka. Yeah, straight up beef. Oh, let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, man. And again, I'm looking for the little bits of eggplant in here, which I don't really see too much. But man, this kasha is definitely stick to your ribs kind of chow. Man, and this tray is like wickedly heavy. Look at that stuff right there. Alright, man, let's stop screwing around and let's start sampling. And I'm going to do this first because this is usually my most favorite. And again, if you got your own field spice kit, man, go to town. Add all that yummy stuff to it. Oh, that's nice and soft. It's got that nice beefy kind of texture to it too. A little chewiness. However, the beef is nice and soft, even though I have no beef on this little bit right here. But buddy, we do now. Man, let's give that a go with one of these awesome high-speed crackers. Man, that stuff is good. I don't taste any eggplant. That might be a translation gaffe. I don't know, but man, I don't get it. I can tell you one thing. If you do get one of these, don't try to shove this whole thing in your mouth, because these little corners, they get pointy when they get stuck down in the back. But oh man, stuff's outstanding. And seeing how this is like this, and I have seen people have little croutons in their soup. I'm just going to, oh God, if I can, toss them in there and let them do their thing. While I'm just going to try this little currant kind of like jam kind of stuff on this cracker. This stuff is so good. It gives you a nice little hint of like freshness. Kind of cleanses your palate a little bit. Just that nice fruit kind of flavor. Get in here for some of this chicken and rice soup. I'm dumping half of it in my hand. Chicken is very tender. It is significantly salty, so you do have to keep that in mind. It almost has consistency of like a split pea soup. It's rather thick for a soup, which is actually what you need if you're out in the field. You don't want anything overly runny that falls out of your lap or whatever. You spill all over the ground. The only thing you're going to do is get soaked and have your buddies laugh at you. I'll try one with one of these croutons. This almost has like the consistency of baby food too. It's incredibly soft, which is why I put one of those rusks in there. And that really kind of helps with the consistency. Most people probably don't throw them in there. They probably just eat them like this, hold them in their pocket and eat them while they're going throughout the day. But yeah, this stuff is pretty good too. And then we'll try some of our English breakfast tea. And this stuff is still pretty toasty. Get that out of there. And we'll give that a go. Actually, I think this was a good kind of choice. It's not sharp. It's very light. You do have that nice tea flavor. Yeah, English breakfast was probably a good choice, even though I am a fan of black tea. I'm gonna go in there again. And this, everybody, was lunch. A rather giant lunch. I think if I had this out in the field, the only thing that I would want to do is have a nice little siesta or field nap after this bad boy. Okay, we're winding this up. Lastly, we have supper or dinner or your evening meal, whatever you like to call it. And it is simply sealed. Man, that was a horrible cut. What the world is going on here? So look like we got some honey. We've got some more salt, some more sugar, some more tea, another wet wipe, some more crackers. And this is like a beef and vegetable soup. Says it's got some peas and some other stuff in here. It says beans, those are usually green beans. And then lastly we have some more of these crisps or rugs that have been pulverized into no one's business, but that's okay because they're all going to get crushed and end up in our business too. I've been looking around everywhere. I'm pretty confident this came with a spoon and a little napkin thing, but I will be darned if I can find it. So, to the rescue. Alright, let's make our tea. Now, one thing with the honey, you can kind of feel it. It's a little aged, so it's a little crystallized. So, the crystals are good, but if you don't want that, just add this to some kind of heated up water or hot water, and those crystals will dissolve, and this will all be a nice honey yummy goodness. So we'll do that. Open up our rusks and again our crackers, and this one has a pre-hole already, so yay, makes things easier. Different kind of rusks, and these ones have been brutalized by the logistics system, either in the Ukraine, well, Ukraine, it's not really the Ukraine, or the postal system somewhere along the way. Look at those things. You know, just like little pieces of bread. And I do have the main heating up, so I'm going to toss that in there. And since we liked it for lunch so much, we have some English breakfast tea again. Yay! And like I said, always support your favorite YouTubers. Support us. Always got to be your #1 fan as far as I'm concerned. And we'll let that do its thing while our main heats up. And while we're waiting for this dinner to heat up, I just want to say, I was looking through my old vids. I cannot believe it has been almost a year. A whole year since my last review. Man, time just flies by. It seems the older you get, the faster time flies. Oh man, I wish it was the other way around. Alright, pull this off the heat and see it is all nice, soft, and pliable again. So we're going to take a little bit off of that and put some on our rusk. Oh, look how happy it is. And you can see it's nice and warm because it is rolling downhill. Oh man, that is going to be good. See, and all you got to do is just simply steer it to where you want it to go. Oh. And while we're waiting, all this stuff is just going to start absorbing into those little nooks and crannies. It will be so yummy when we try it. Alright, we're ready to rock and roll. We have another 350 grams. This is beef with the vegetables. It's not super hot. I think my my Hot Logic Mini is starting to crap out on me. I think I might have to get another one of them. It has served its purpose well over the last several years. Alright, I don't want to sound boorish, but I'm betting that might look the same going in as coming out. Yeah, well, it smells good. Looks like I can see little bits of onion in there. Interesting. All the meat was on one side. That's kind of a little bummer. Man, what does it say is inside of here? I'll make sure I scroll it down there for you all. It says dried peas, onions. I can see a little bit of carrot. I guess I could see a little bit of onion, but these peas, they must be like pea mush or mushed peas. Nonetheless, let's give it a go. He says it does have generous big chunks of beef, and they are big chunks too. Nice and hearty. This is definitely stick to your ribs overnight kind of chow. It is mushy. I will say that. You can definitely taste the pea in there, but this must have like a beef stock or something like that. This is so incredibly smooth. I think you all would absolutely enjoy this. Yeah, it looks like hell, but then again, a lot of us military food looks like hell, but man, this stuff tastes so good. You get that beef that comes through. It has a little bit of that oil, a little bit of that fats come through, which to be perfectly honest, make everything taste better. So you get that going, and then right at the end you start getting that little pea flavor. Man, this stuff is awesome. Alright, let's get that crunch component going. This time I'm not going to try to cram one of them whole crackers in my mouth and try to choke myself down. I'll do that. Get a little bit of that. And like I said, you can crumble them up and put them in here too. That would be just as good. Probably even smarter because it would absorb some of these little oil bits in there, make them a little softer. These really pair well together. They really do. So, I mean, they have with all of the meals. We'll do our little white rusk with some of our mied or honey. Totally break apart. The honey is nice and sweet, which you would expect it to be. Absolutely good stuff. These rusks, I mean, all honesty, they're like a crouton or like really stale bread. They're okay. I mean, if it's what you got in your chow, it's what you're going to eat. But man, they're just all right. I would rather have 2 packs of these. And again, if you needed it, we still have sugar for our tea. We still have salt. I can't imagine why you need salt on any of this stuff. Let's try our English breakfast tea again. It'll probably go really well with this meal. Oh, for Christ's sake, man. I forget every time I like burn the crap out of myself. That is hot tea. And since we haven't seen them, let's take a look at this moist towelette. Granted, you would use this before you started eating to wipe off your hands and your face to make sure that you weren't ingesting any germs or anything. It's not overly damp. Just loose. Doesn't really have a fragrance. Just a slight chemical odor to it. Some of these have like orange scented or whatever, but not that. But there you go. Just a small little towelette. Well, everybody, I have to thank Emery Mountain for sending this case, the absolute hero in my book. Here we got, this is a contract from 2018. It was produced in 2019, and it is good until next month of 2021, which is why I slammed this thing down. It is nice to be back. It is nice to be doing these reviews again, and I will see you all soon with Pizza MRE menu number 23. And boy, that one is a doozy. See y'all soon. Bye.